Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us for today's Fiber Broadband Association webinar. Today's webinar is Fiber Foundations, Mastering Network Design for Multi-Dwelling Units, and this is brought to us by Lutgrove today. I'm David Norris, webinar producer here at FBA. Before we begin, I just have a couple quick housekeeping items to make sure everybody has a great experience. So first and foremost, if you're an attendee today, you are in listen-only mode. However, we will have time for questions at the end, so I encourage you to ask your questions by typing them into the questions tool, which is located on the side of your screen. You may have to open that up from the menu on the upper right side of your screen. So with that, let's just jump right in. So in today's webinar, as I just mentioned, we're going to be exploring the intricacies of fiber network design for MDUs. And we're pleased to be joined today by Keith Casey, Vice President of Construction Operations at Lutgrove. And Keith will provide a roadmap for evaluating existing infrastructure, designing an optimal fiber network, selecting the right technologies and equipment, and ensuring compliance with local regulations. Keith brings over 28 years of experience in outside plant telecom, construction, engineering, planning, and contract administration. His robust background spans all facets of the OSP Telecom with a proven track record in managing construction projects, engineering, and meticulous planning to ensure timely and budget compliant projects. So Keith, welcome. We appreciate you being on today. And I think you wanted to start things off with a poll. So let's go ahead and run that poll now.
Excellent. Thank you, David.
So does your organization currently offer or plan to offer internet services to any multi-dwelling units? And the way the numbers are looking, it looks like we've got plenty of people in the right place.
Yeah. That's good. It's good to hear.
Yep. So we'll go ahead and just quickly display those results, and then I'll hand it over to you, Keith. So it looks like 82% of the people on here are saying yes, and we do have a few no's, but maybe they'll be converts at the end of this, and with your guidance, be able to support MDU. So with that, thank you for responding to the poll, and Keith, I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to you, and you can take over sharing of the screen as well.
All right.
Yep, there we go. You are all set.
Okay. All right. Well, welcome everybody. Thank you for the intro, David. As he said, I have over 28 years of experience in the telecom world, previously working for one of the largest providers, Frontier Communications, and now with Lutgrove. So today we're going to talk a little bit about our MDUs and how we start to do those designs. We want to talk through all the site survey, our analysts, how we're going to analyze it. We're going to talk about the fiber network design, the technology, equipment, installation, compliance, service and quality, and performance and support. So one of the things, we want to enhance the connectivity for the MDU customers. We want to provide a high-speed internet access to all our residents within the MDU, ensure consistent and reliable connectivity. We also want to future-proof as much as we can. We want to make sure we design a network that we can grow and expand with the technologies that, as we all know, increase come quicker and quicker than sometimes we all want. By the time we're designing some things, there are newer and better ways to build things. We also want to scalable. We want to make sure that we can build this network, make it bigger, expand on it if they expand on the MDUs, all by doing cost effectiveness, and of course minimize disruption with the customers that are currently there. We got to be in compliance with all the regulations and building codes, and as well keep our aesthetics and integrity, make sure that everything is pleasing to the eye and not a big eyesore for the customers that'll be living there. And of course, customer satisfaction. Site survey and analyze, that's one of the biggest things that we pride ourselves on doing up front, because the more you do analyze and get it to our designers to make it, it just makes things much easier. The building layout, we want to assess the structure, how we're going to make the pathways, whether there are stackable closets, there's existing pathways, and basically just design where the best place to enter the building and get to each one of the residents. The existing infrastructure, we want to review that, see if there's anything usable. Some of our designs, we do a fiber to the closet, and then we use Cat5 or Cat5e above to the customer through from the ONT. And then the environment. We want to identify, any obstacles. What type of is it a garden style? Is it a high rise? If there's a lot of rock, what might have what could possibly change the structure of what we're building. And then, again, plan for any necessary modifications or accommodations. We want to choose the best way to design this, whether you want to do a star or a ring. If you're looking for redundancy or, improvement in expansion. The fiber types, 90% of what we're doing is a single mode fiber. It's better for long distance, higher bandwidths. We do some smaller multi-mode jobs, but primarily we're doing everything in single mode. And then again, the pathways and conduit. Is there existing pathways? Do we got to place new ones? Whether it's a vertical closet or outside in the additional on the side of the building, sometimes we'll run a raceway up the side of the building. And we try to use as much existing paths that we can possibly do. The equipment and technology, where it's basically our OLT, which is an optical line terminal. That's where we're terminating our fibers and passing it off into the ONT, which is the optical network terminal that installs to each individual unit. Our goal is always to get the ONT in the unit if we can. It's a better experience and have control, and it gives you a fiber path all the way back to each individual user. And then if you're going to do splitters or amplifiers, depending on your design, if you're splitting it, if you've got a large MDU footprint, you may want to bring splitters where we can bring a 1x32 splitter or 1x4 splitters. So we're maximizing the fiber that we're sending out in a long distance. Again, our fiber, installing our fiber, we running the fiber through the building, the most efficient methods, whether we're going to run a micro trench, we're going to run just a drop fiber. It all depends on the style and what we have available to us. We want to obviously make everything ultimately invisible to everybody's eye. Nobody wants to see the cables if all possible. We have many different pathways of doing that, whether it's if there's drop ceilings or we can get into the attic. We can, there's many different methods for doing that. Taking consideration of the termination and splicing, you want to make sure that, if you have to do any termination or splicing, you're in an adequate space where we can do it to get in our fusion machines. And, if there's high capacity, make sure we have enough room to house the splice cases or what we might have. And again, of course, local regulations, we want to adhere to all building codes and make sure there's any changes, if there's any firewalls or anything that we need to make sure we're patching up to make sure we keep the integrity of the firewall. And permits and approvals, it goes with local regulations. We will reach out and find out if there's any special permitting we need to do or whatnot. If we're doing a outside plant structure, there's maybe some wetlands that we need to talk through and get some permits for that. So we take in that consideration as well. And then our quality and performance and support, bandwidth. We want to make sure that you're providing enough bandwidth to have a great experience for each of the customers. The worst thing is, building a brand new network and the bandwidth can't handle it, and you have a bad experience, and we get the wheel of death. And then redundancy, reliability. We like to figure in some kind of redundancy. If there is any kind of breakage anywhere else, we can backfeed our customers, and we want to just make sure we keep our reliability and the integrity of our network. The user education and technical support, we want to make sure we're also providing the residents with the benefits of the fiber and the internet, what we're using, and always offer technical support. Going through this pretty fast, and I know, but these are some of our services that we provide. Fiber to the home, as you can see, we do make-ready engineering, internal networking, permitting, and construction. We have probably done over 200 plus building surveys to 30 to 50,000 customer locations just in this year alone as of right now. So we're working on all of that, and these are our services. I did see a bunch of questions come in previously. Somebody mentioned a few questions that came in before. They were asking about microtrenching. We do microtrenching, and I do believe it's a valid source to do in a big garden style. We just did a large property down in one of our areas, and microtrenching was the only way to really make it work. Otherwise, there's small, tight roads, and we couldn't be able to just do a traditional trench. It would just disturb the residents too much. Again, I apologize. I went through that pretty fast. It's been a while since I've done these, to be honest. And I don't know if there was other questions, David, if anything has come in.
No, this actually, this was great, Keith. This is perfect to set the stage. And we do have quite a few questions here. So if you don't mind, we can go through some of those.
Okay.
So we have a question here. Somebody's asking, you mentioned how many you had done in the past year, I think, but somebody wants to know how many site visits your team could accomplish within a week.
So our site visits, we probably do 10 to 15 site visits a week. We could probably handle. And obviously, another thing that we do a lot of scalability if we need to. But yeah, we're doing about 10 to 15 or 15 to 20 right now.
Great. And along those lines, somebody's asking, how long does a multi-dwelling project take from site visit to construction?
So our experience right now, in average, and obviously it depends on the size of the MDU. How many? If there's thousands, it's probably a little bit longer than this. But we're about 90 days from site visit to construction completion, handoff to the customer or the provider.
Okay. And during that 90 days, just another question that we received is, what is the amount of damage or inconvenience that can be expected from tenants?
Yeah, that's always a top question. And obviously, it's construction. There's going to be damage. But we again pride ourselves and try to look through that. And everybody should just do the best. Try not to do as much disturbing. Clean up after you go. And but our experience has been very little damage. But things happen sometimes. But yeah.
Absolutely. Always a surprise, I guess, when you get in there.
Yes.
So along those lines as well, we actually received a couple of questions both before and during both through when people were registering and in the live here, talking about greenfield designs versus older designs.
Okay.
So do you have any tricks of the trade, as one person put it?
So, ideally, if you get into a greenfield design meaning brand new, so you're coming in while they're building it, and it's obviously much easier to get whatever pathway you're going to do, whether you're going to put a microduct or whatever for future running fiber. But yeah, we also do greenfields. We try to get with developers and builders and say, make sure we educate them as to what the new technology is. Used to be all running Cat 5, Cat 6. Now, it's fiber. So, providing a path is key for a greenfield.
Let's see, what else do we have here? And somebody is asking too, and this relates to the older MDUs and upgrading older MDUs. Do you ever use wireless options within the existing building to bypass that wiring?
We have done some wireless. I'm not. That's not my expertise. I'm a outside plant construction guy, so I want wire. But no, we have done some wireless and been very successful. But yeah, I don't have a lot of information on that. But we could get back if somebody wants to email us or look on our website. We could get that information back to them.
Great. Let's see. Somebody just asked, any recommendations for technologies that can bring greater than 1 gigabit per second speeds to MDUs with existing wiring?
Yeah, that's a tough one. I mean, we have used some existing wire, and it all depends on what the existing wire is and what how it's run. If they're dedicated Cat6 wires, you probably can get a little bit higher than that. But we've experienced using some coax. Sometimes I'm not a huge fan. If I know we want to use sometimes existing stuff, but we try to get the fiber right into the units.
Got it. And this one might be a little bit specific, but somebody is asking if you primarily use microducts for interior attic spaces or whether you use free air for the cables.
Both. Again, it depends on the structure. I personally like to use the microduct. It goes back to one of the comments about future proofing. If for whatever reason that fiber needs to be replaced or whatever, you have a direct pathway.
Got it. So we have a couple of questions just around cost and funding. Obviously that's a big topic with a lot of factors. But I do like this one. Are you working with any states on BEAD, non-deployment funding for MDUs?
We are working on a few. I don't know that it's MDU though. It's single family. Again, I'd have to research a little more. That's not on my side of the shop right now.
Got it. And we can follow up on those too.
Yep.
And let's see. So we have some people reaching out to connect with you, so we will make sure that happens as well. And I'm just looking through to see if we got anything new here that we've missed. So you mentioned amplification, and the person says they assume you're referencing amplification of the GPON and or XGS-PON. Can you expand on that? How is the amplification accomplished on a PON network?
I apologize. I cannot. Those are my design. Those are my design teams.
Like I said, some of these get pretty specific.
Yep.
So
that is pretty specific, and yeah.
Yep. But we will certainly follow up on those and some of the other questions. And I think that just about does it for the questions that we've received so far. But actually, I'm looking here. We just had a couple more come in. Somebody's asking if you have any tricks for a brownfield MDU requiring 2-story wall fish.
I mean, there's all kinds of tricks. I mean, we have some good internal workforce that they're pretty good at snaking walls and trying to find a way to get in there. Again, it all depends on the structure, how it's built, and actually where it's built. Each part of the country, sometimes it's different, but there's always tricks. I mean, nothing I can probably explain now, but we do. Yeah.
Sure. Somebody's asking if, and this again, I don't want to put you on the spot, but if you're familiar with positron, and if you have an opinion.
I don't have an opinion on it. I did use positron in my past life, not here. We did some positron out in rural, quite honestly, upstate New York. But we have used it. It's always been a good experience from as far as I'm concerned.
Great.
And again, I mean, any of these questions, I mean, we definitely can, if you know, you do want to reach out to me.
Yeah.
I do have a whole team of engineers that are a lot smarter than I am on this technical stuff. So we can get, you know, any specific questions if needed.
Yep, and we're definitely getting some specific questions here, and you know, so there's certainly a lot of interest in speaking with you and your team. And so I think what we can do is we can table some of those because they're getting pretty specific. But oh well, somebody has a good question that'll be a great segue here, which is they're asking if you'll be at Fiber Connect in Nashville.
All right, so it's just going to go. I was going to try to tab over to that. So yeah, so we are going to be at Fiber Connect. I personally not. Unfortunately, I'm not. I have a previous commitment, but our team will be down at Fiber Connect. We're going to be at booth 218, and it's on the slide. I don't know if this gets sent out to everybody. That I don't know what that code is for, to be honest with you, but we will be at Fiber Connect.
Great, great. And you're, like you said, at booth 218. So we look forward to seeing the folks from Luck Grove there, and please do stop by their booth with your questions. And like I said, we've got all of your questions recorded here, so we'll be sure to follow up as well. There's one more that's just interesting to me that just came in. And have you ever ran through garbage chutes as a path?
It's funny. We actually, yes, I have. It's one of them was a laundry chute and one of them was a garbage chute. We have put a conduit down there and secured it till we can. There's been, you know, air conditioning duct chutes we've used where there's a chaseway. We've done all of that.
Great. So with that, I think we will wrap things up here. And once again, I invite everybody to visit Luck Grove's booth at Fiber Connect, and we look forward to seeing everybody there. Fiber Connect is at the end of this month. If you have not already done so, please go out and register. You can do that on the FBA website, so fiberbroadband.org, and go to the events tab, and you'll see the details for Fiber Connect there. And Keith, thank you so much for this. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Like I said, a lot of questions here, so we look forward to having you follow up with folks on those. And,
yeah, I'm looking forward to answering some of those more specific questions. Thank you.
Great. Great. Right. And thank you for everybody who's attended today as well. We appreciate your time. This one was a little bit shorter than our typical 1-hour webinars. We specifically planned this one for 30 minutes. Definitely provide us your feedback. Let us know if you like that format. There's a brief survey you'll see at the end. I encourage you to respond to that survey. It certainly helps us out to let us know how useful these are for you, and to help us understand what topics you'd like to see and hear. And with that, thank you. We'll wrap up, and we hope to see you on the next one. Have a great day, everyone.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Thank you.
Bye, Keith. Thanks.
Bye-bye.